There is a kind of loneliness nobody talks about. Not the loneliness of being alone. The loneliness of being surrounded by people who love you and still feeling completely invisible. You have sat at tables full of people who cared. You have been held by someone who loved you. And underneath all of it, always this quiet ache that nobody was seeing the real you, just a version, a surface version, one you learned to show. Psychologists call this being loved, but never truly known. For Gen X, this didn't start in adulthood. It started much earlier. My name is David, and if that ache has followed you your whole life, today, I'll show you exactly why. You learned this early, not from a book, not from anyone sitting you down and teaching it to you deliberately. You just learned it, the way children learn the things that keep them safe. Show the capable version. Show the version that has it together. Show the version that doesn't need too much, doesn't feel too deeply, doesn't ask for more than what is comfortably given. Be fine. And so you became fine. Remarkably, consistently, exhaustingly fine. You were the one people leaned on, the one who handled things, the one who showed up when others couldn't, the one who kept going when going felt impossible. And people loved that version of you. They relied on it. They celebrated it. But somewhere behind it, behind the capability and the reliability and the quiet competence, there was another version of you, softer, more uncertain, more afraid, more human, a version that had questions nobody was asking, feelings nobody was making space for, a depth that the surface conversations never reached. And you learned, gradually, quietly, without anyone ever saying it directly, that this version was not what was wanted, not what was safe to show. So you kept it private, and you waited for someone who would look past the capable version, who would sense there was more, who would ask the questions that actually mattered, and stay long enough to hear the real answers. Most people never did, and you are still carrying the weight of that waiting. To understand why you have spent a lifetime feeling unknown, you have to go back to where it started, and it started early, earlier than you might have realized. It started in the home you grew up in, not because your parents were cruel. Most of them weren't. Not because nobody loved you. Most of you were loved in the ways your parents knew how to love, which were often the only ways their own parents had shown them. But there was something missing in those homes, something quiet and unspoken and profoundly important. Emotional space. Space to say, I am struggling. Space to say, I am scared. Space to say, I need more than what I am getting right now. Space to be complicated and uncertain and deeply feeling, without being told to toughen up, to be grateful, to stop being so sensitive. Gen X grew up in homes shaped by boomer parents. Parents who had been raised by the silent generation. People who had lived through real hardship, war, poverty, genuine deprivation. People for whom feelings were a luxury, weakness, something to push past, not sit with. And so in those homes, feelings went underground. You learned that your emotional needs made people uncomfortable, that your depth was too much, that being strong was the only version of yourself that was truly welcome. So you became strong. And in becoming strong, you left the rest of yourself behind. And the rest of yourself has been waiting to be found ever since. Here is the part that nobody talks about. The things we learn in childhood, about who we are allowed to be, about how much of ourselves is safe to show, about what happens when we need too much or feel too deeply. These things do not stay in childhood. They follow us into the friendships we build as adults, into the relationships we choose, into the dynamics we recreate without knowing we are recreating them, into the quiet corners of our lives where the old patterns live on long after the original circumstances have changed. Psychologists call this attachment theory. The idea that the emotional patterns formed in our earliest relationships become the template for every relationship that follows. If you learned early that showing your full self was unsafe, you carried that learning forward. You chose friendships that stayed comfortably surface level, not because you didn't want depth, but because depth felt dangerous, exposed, vulnerable in ways that childhood taught you not to be. You chose relationships where you gave more than you received, where you were the strong one, the capable one, the one who held things together, because that role was familiar, safe, The only role you had ever been shown was acceptable, and decade after decade, the same quiet ache followed you, the same feeling of being in the room but not fully in it, being loved but not fully seen, being known but only partially, only safely, only up to the point where the real you began. And the real you, still waiting behind all of it, grew quieter with every year that passed. Can I name something for you? Something you have probably never heard named quite this way before. There is a specific kind of exhaustion, different from physical tiredness, different from burnout, different from the ordinary weariness of a busy life, that comes from spending decades being someone other than who you fully are. It is the exhaustion of maintenance, the constant quiet effort of maintaining the version of yourself that the world knows, keeping the capable version running, keeping the fine version believable, keeping the strong version standing, even on the days when standing feels impossible. Nobody sees this work. That is part of what makes it so heavy. Because from the outside, you look fine. You always look fine. That is the whole point. That is what you perfected over decades of careful, quiet, exhausting practice. But on the inside, there's a tiredness that goes all the way down. A tiredness not just of the body, but of the self. Of having held the gap between who you are and who the world thinks you are for so long, so consistently, so completely alone. You know this exhaustion. You have been carrying it quietly for a very long time. Maybe you have told yourself it is just getting older, just the weight of responsibilities, just the normal heaviness of a life fully lived. But some of it, maybe more than you have allowed yourself to admit, is the weight of being only partially known. For most of your life, by almost everyone you have ever loved. Underneath everything else, underneath the achievements and the responsibilities and the carefully maintained surface of a life that looks, from the outside, completely together, there's always been a longing. Simple, quiet, persistent, not for more success. You have chased success and found that it does not fill the particular emptiness you carry. Not for more approval. You have received approval, plenty of it, and notice that it touches something in you briefly and then slides away, leaving the deeper hunger untouched. The longing was simpler than any of that. One person, just one person who saw all of it, not just the strong version, not just the capable version, not just the version you had spent years polishing and presenting and maintaining. All of it, the version that falls apart quietly in the car on the way home. The version that lies awake at 3 a.m. wondering if any of this means what was supposed to mean. The version that is still, underneath everything, a little bit lost, a little bit scared, a little bit uncertain that they are doing any of this correctly. That version, seen completely, held without judgment, and chosen anyway, not despite all of it, because of all of it. That was the longing. That has always been the longing. And if you are honest, sitting with yourself right now in whatever quiet space you have found for this moment, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you have been longing for it your entire life. I want to offer you something now. Not a fix, not a solution, just a reframe. Because I think you've been carrying a story about yourself, a quiet, unexamined story that has done you a profound injustice. The story goes something like this. The reason nobody has ever fully known you is because you are too complicated, too much, too difficult to understand, too layered, too private, too deeply hidden even for the people who wanted to find you. That story has lived in you for a long time, quietly, in the background, shaping how much of yourself you offer, how far you let people in, how quickly you pull back when someone gets close enough to see the parts you are not sure are lovable. And I want to tell you, clearly, gently, completely, that story is wrong. The reason you were never fully known was not because of something broken inside you. It was because the world never gave you a safe enough place to fully arrive. Psychologists who study human connection will tell you this. Safety is not a luxury in relationships. It is a prerequisite. People do not reveal their full selves in environments where full selves have historically been unwelcome. You grew up in an environment that asked you to be less, to need less, to feel less, and you adapted, brilliantly, survivingly, at great personal cost. But adaptation is not the same as being broken. You were never too much. The containers you were given were simply too small. I want to leave you with something. After all of this, after everything we have sat with together in this quiet space, you have spent most of your life waiting to be known by someone else. Waiting for the person who would look past the capable version, who would find the real you behind the fine version, who would see all of it, every complicated, uncertain, deeply feeling part of it, and stay. And maybe that person came. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they came partially and left before they got all the way in. But here is what I want you to consider. The person who has waited longest to truly see you has always been you, not the version you show the world, not the version that is fine and capable and together, not the version that has spent decades maintaining the gap between who you are and who people think you are, the real you, the full you, the you that has been quietly waiting behind every version you have ever presented, patient, persistent, still there after all these years. That version deserves to be known. Not someday, not when it is safe enough or earned enough, or when you have finally fixed all the parts you are not sure are lovable. Now, with all the complications and the uncertainties and the quiet exhaustion of a life lived mostly in partial visibility, you've been waiting for someone to fully see you. Maybe it is time to stop waiting and start looking at yourself fully, honestly, without apology, because the most important relationship you will ever have, the one that determines how fully you can ever be known by anyone else, is the one you have with yourself. And that relationship is never too late to begin.